The coffee at 7, the window at 8, the variables held in their ordered estate. I built this silence with accurate hands. I live inside answers, not inside demands. The numbers don't leave when I turn off the light. They wait in the margins, they're perfectly right. I've made of precision a place I can stay, and nothing unproven gets into my way. The colleagues with certainties worn on their sleeves, the ones who love questions like forests love leaves. I keep my conclusions behind measured doors. I don't ask what's under the underneath floors. A man I once kept in the space next to mine asked what I wanted beyond the design. I gave him an answer, both accurate, clean. He left me the silence to fill in between. Euler sits watching me work through the night. He doesn't ask questions, he just gets things right. We're two of a kind in our ordered routine. We're two of a kind in our ordered routine. The numbers make sense in the spaces between. Controlled variables, measured days, clean results and familiar ways. The proof holds, the theorem stands. This is safety, these are my hands. But somewhere beneath the precision I keep, a frequency hums at the edge of my sleep. Not loud, not insistent, not asking a name. Just present, just constant, just always the same. 7, the coffee, 8, the cold light. The variables wait for their keeper tonight. Everything ordered, everything known, I've made of my certainty somewhere called home. In the sequence at 2 in the morning, no thunder, no angel, no adequate warning, just digits that shouldn't be doing this thing, just order where chaos was supposed to sing. I've run the algorithm 17 times, the error persists through the error-free lines. I've stripped out the variables, cleaned every source, the pattern remains holding perfectly course. It isn't a figure I've seen before, but I know what it means. Circle, spiral, square, the grammar of space writing into itself, a signature left on the uppermost shelf. I close the computer, I make myself tea. I practice the sentence, this cannot be. But practice and certainty live different lives. Uncertainty faltered at 3:45. The cat doesn't notice the building is still. The digits sit waiting with infinite will. I found nothing, probably I'll prove it by dawn. By dawn I had proved it was really there. All along, the anomaly sits in the constant. Patient is something that's always been there. A circle drawn into the number for circles. I breathe, and I breathe, and I try not to stare. What do you do with the thing that undoes the framework on which all your thinking accrues? You measure it, obviously. You run the test clean. You try every exit from what you have seen. A flag in the sequence, a crack in the floor. I've locked every window and bolted the door. pattern sits quietly, waiting my call. If I don't name it, does it exist at all? Six weeks and I gave it every exit I knew. 6 weeks and it stayed where I found it stayed true. I tried to unmake it with everything learned. Proof requires failure and failure confirmed. Software artifact, I rewrote the code. Ran the original data set down every road. The pattern emerged from 3 separate scripts. The code isn't dreaming, the code doesn't slip. Coincidental sequence, I mapped every case of order emerging from randomness's face. In infinite digits, all patterns appear, but not at this location, not pointing this clear. 6 weeks of trying to make it untrue. 6 weeks of failure, and then I knew the numbers don't lie when you've done every check. The only impossible thing is what's left. They called it compression, I called it a ghost. I called Yusuf at midnight, he talked me to coast. He didn't believe me, but stayed on the line, which is all that a proof needs sometimes in design. Week 6 Friday, the last test complete. The exits are locked, the disproof is beat. I sit with the certainty no one would choose. The thing that I found doesn't want to be refused. 6 weeks of trying to make it untrue. 6 weeks of failure, and then I knew the numbers don't lie when you've done every check. The only impossible thing is what's left. There's a grief in the finding of something that's real. A door that opens onto a landscape you feel. Not joy, not quite terror, but somewhere between. The first honest moment of what it could mean. 6 weeks of trying to make it untrue. 6 weeks of failure, and then I knew the numbers don't lie when you've done every check. The only impossible thing is what's left. 6 weeks and the digits remain what they are. The pattern still glows like a navigator's star. I've tried to be wrong with everything I've known, and right is the country I'm living in alone. Not with a gasp, not with falling to my knees. The truth arrived quietly, if you please, the way that all true things eventually do, without asking permission to be true. I closed the last file at 10 after 2. The apartment is perfectly holding its view. Euler is sleeping in his specific way. I accept what I found at the end of this day. It doesn't feel holy, it doesn't feel cursed. It feels like the last line of something rehearsed for longer than I have been here to rehearse. A constant embedded in every universe. I think about geometry, think about space, about circles requiring pi to take place, and something that knew this before there were minds, and put it here anyway, left it to find. I make myself coffee, I sit in the dark. I hold what I'm holding, this impossible mark. No language for this that the daylight allows, so I hold it in silence, and here's what I vow. I accept, not in joy, not in fear. I accept that this constant is genuinely here. I accept that I found it, that I was the one. I accept that this finding has only begun. She accepts. This is the configuration in 11. Before her, she turned from the door. In this one, she doesn't. We know. has changed. 2 in the morning and everything's changed, and nothing has moved and the room's rearranged by the simple addition of knowing one thing, the signature on what the universe sings.
It was posted at midnight by someone who meant well, or meant harm, or meant nothing. It's hard enough to tell. By morning the constant had 17 names, and none of them mine, and all of them claims. The mystics said finally, the skeptics said fraud, the faithful said proof, the faithless said flawed. The thread accumulated its hundreds of takes, and I watched my discovery suffer its states. By noon it was trending. justify what they believe.
He reads the paper on a Wednesday, calls Thursday. We meet in a neutral location, Friday. 7 years compressed to a coffee and what we are now, which is honest, which is a lot. He says the cosmological constant you've cited is off by a factor that should have been cited. I say, I know I use the conservative range. He says, I know, I just needed a reason to engage. We work for 3 hours, then stop, then sit still. The physics is solved and the silence refills with everything else and the years and the fact that precision was never the thing that I lacked. Dominic here at the table again, 7 years later, and here at the same position of asking what I actually feel about things I can't prove, but that nonetheless are real. He says, do you think it means anything, Lena? Beyond the geometry, deeper, I mean the thing underneath all of the theorem and proof. What do you actually feel about the truth? I don't have an answer, not yet, not that night, but something releases its grip in the light of someone who knew me before I was this, asking the question that certainty misses. Dominic here at the table again, 7 years later, and here at the same position of asking what I actually feel about things I can't prove, but that nonetheless are real. I left you for certainty, clean and controlled. I built it so carefully, watched it grow cold, and now at the center of everything shakes a question that certainty permanently breaks. Dominic here at the table again, 7 years later, here at the same position of asking what I actually feel about things I can't prove, but that nonetheless are real. We don't resolve anything coffee can solve, but physics is sound and the years still revolve. He leaves at 11, I watch from the door, feeling more human than I have before.
He asks it on a Sunday over terrible wine. If the simulation's real, Lena, what's the bottom line? Does it change what you eat for breakfast? Change how you feel? Does the watermark alter the texture of real?
I say it changes everything structurally, completely. The entire foundation, he says, you're speaking too neatly. The foundation was always uncertain, he says. We built on the mystery anyway, always. What if the point isn't knowing the thing, but what knowing the thing asks of you going in to every ordinary subsequent day, with the constant acknowledged and filed away? What does it change? What does it change? If the watermark's real and the architect's rain, what does it change about Tuesday at noon? About coffee and Hewler and the adequate room? What does it change? I tell him I can't file it, it's too large to file. He says my faith is too large to file. I've been doing it a while. The question isn't size, the question is weight. And how much of the weight is yours to take? We sit without talking for longer than most. Comfortable silences last. He raises a toast to constants, to questions, to terrible wine, to things that live in the space between mine. What does it change? What does it change? If the watermark's real and the architect's rain, what does it change about Tuesday at noon? About coffee and Hewler and the adequate room? What does it change? Maybe nothing in practice and everything in theory. Maybe the self that you thought you were is the query. Maybe the answer to what does it change is the person who's asking, which is strange. But what does it change? What does it change? If the watermark's real and the architect's brain, what does it change about Tuesday at noon? About coffee and Hewler and the adequate room? What does it change? He pours the last glass, says, I think you're okay. I say, define okay. He says you found it and stayed. That's all any of us can do, honestly. Find the impossible thing and remain yourself. I go back one more time with no agenda. No need to disprove and no need to render a verdict, just looking, just being the kind of person who looks because that's my design. I go past the figure, past circle and square, past spiral, past order, into the bare infinite digits resuming their random descent. And there at the edge I find what it meant. Not meaning like message, not meaning like sign, just meaning like this is where care drew the line between the deliberate and the design noise. This is where the maker put down their voice. The edge of the encoding, the place where the order returns to the scene. The signature ends and the blank page begins, and I stand at the margin and I am free and I am held and I am held. I sit with the edge for a very long time. I run no more tests, I compose no more lines. I hold the location the way you hold proof that something was here and you're under its roof. The cat is asleep, the apartment is still, the digits run forward with infinite will. I am the instrument that found what it found, and I am at last not afraid of that sound. The edge of the encoding, the place where the order returns to the scene. The signature ends and the blank page begins, and I stand at the margin and I am free and I am held and I am held. She reaches the edge, she does not step past it. She stands at the margin, she understands not every The signature ends and the blank page begins, and I stand at the margin and I am free, and I am held, and I am held. 7, the coffee. 8, the cold light. The variables wait, but they wait differently tonight. Everything ordered, everything changed. I've made of my uncertainty somewhere called home, and somewhere beyond, in the language of scope that exceeds all I know, something is watching and finding me worth the watch.